Welcome to the Commission Podcast. I'm your host, Cooley.
The same, the center, Marquett Devon Burden.
Let's go. Hey, we got another special episode with y'all today. We are reacting to the Diddy trial. As y'all been seeing, this is the third day of the trial. So we're going to go through some stuff and break it down for y'all, share a few videos, and give y'all our perspective on things. Marquette, anything on your end?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Okay, so if anyone was living in a tomb, but Diddy is in a relationship with Cassie. They met when Cassie was 19 years old, and he was her executive producer. At that time, she was in a relationship, and he was also, I believe, in a relationship with a woman as well. They ended up getting into an entanglement, similar to what Jada Pinkett and that other guy did. So let's go ahead and get into the first news clip for this. Go ahead and bring it up.
Day in court as Cassie Ventura returns to the stand in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Good afternoon. I'm Steve Lacey. Thanks for being with us. Welcome to the News Block. Today, Cassie went into detail about the alleged abuse she faced from Combs. Prosecutors showing the jury photos of the star witness with a black eye and swollen lips. Fox 5's Michelle Ross live in Lower Manhattan with the details coming out of court today. Michelle.
Steve, prosecutors have also shown the jury sexually explicit images from freakoffs, not videos. Now, the press and public were not allowed to see these images, but the jury reacted when they saw them. A court was extended for lunch today, but on the way back into the courthouse was Diddy's family returning to the courtroom this afternoon. More than a half dozen still images were captured from freak-off videos, and after seeing one of the pictures, one female juror let out a deep breath and had her hand on her chest. A male juror.
While David's queuing up that video, if you all have any comments, questions, URLs, timestamps, feel free to send it in. If you're watching on my channel, the Saint channel, you can use the information it's actually not at the bottom of the screen, but I think one of the mods will pop it in. Venmo at Marquett Devon or PayPal at marquettb@gmail.com. If you have any comments, questions, URLs you want to share as we go through, and I trust you guys will have some commentary, because let's be honest, this broad is a super villain. She's playing like, she's doing that old white woman thing, the classic white woman, set people up, #MeToo, blame everybody, behave like an innocent child. She's doing that bit. It's really sick and sad to see. Now, is Diddy a pervert and a weirdo? Absolutely, 1,000%. You heard me? Lock him up with Tamboozy the booty bandit. You heard me? And just slide a bottle of baby oil under the cell wall. Just slide it in there. See how much Diddy like that baby oiled in. Yeah, bro's a weirdo, but is he a criminal? I don't think any of this sounds like crime. It sounds like bro was just a freaky 69 god. That's what it sounds like, really. I didn't hear any laws were broken. And I don't want to hear this broad lying on the stand talking about, he introduced me to oral when I was 21. Introduced you? Bitch, don't nobody believe you were in the entertainment industry and you just figured out what oral was at age 21. Like, bitch, if you don't shut up and go eat a Happy Meal, utterly outrageous. And where were her parents at during all of this? Like, why is it that we never blame the adult female? We never ask where their parents were. And then we don't realize that not only is people go like, oh, Diddy had so much money and power. He's also a victim of his own money and power. That's the thing we never factor in. Why? Because it's peons doing the reporting. It's peons who are broke and nameless doing the reporting. And as a result, they can't relate to someone who's in the position of having wealth, where people are constantly trying to steal from you, constantly trying to use and abuse you, constantly trying to get something from you, constantly saying that they love you, constantly being a yes man, constantly lying. He too is a victim. Now, Cassie, you were doing this for years on end. You ain't never walk across the police. You ain't never pick up a cell phone I know the cell phone probably got a number of buttons. At least it has a 9 and a 1 on it. 911 if there's a problem, you lying dirtbag. Honestly, man, I'm trying to make this t-shirt and sweatshirt. It's going to say American Hero at the top, and right below it's going to have a photo of Ike Turner, specifically Lawrence Fishburne when he was dressed as Ike Turner. You need it.
Hey, Marquette, you can see this video on your end, right?
It's not playing, but I do see the umbrella.
Okay, so you see the umbrella. So it wasn't playing on
Indeed.
your end. Let's see if it was playing
At
on, because
all.
it was playing, but let's see if it was playing on the live stream. 1 second.
If you're in the chat and you saw that video playing in the live stream, if you'd be kind enough to populate a 1 into the chat. If you did not
Yeah,
see the video playing, populate a 2.
I just checked it. It was playing on the live stream, so, but it's not playing on your end. Okay, let me see if I could do something so you can see it then. Let's see. Okay. Let's just make it bigger and have it take over the screen. I'm going to play it right now. Let me know if you can see it, Marquett.
He seemed to have moved his eyes away from the screen quickly.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just run it back a little bit. Only a little bit played, a few seconds of it played before you went in. So let me just bring it back a little bit.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Lacy. Thanks for being with us. Welcome to the News Block. Today, Cassie went into detail about the alleged abuse she faced from Combs. Prosecutors showing the jury photos of the star witness with a black eye and swollen lips. Fox 5's Michelle Ross live in Lower Manhattan with the details coming out of court today. Michelle.
Steve, prosecutors have also shown the jury sexually explicit images from freakoffs, not videos. Now, the press and public were not allowed to see these images, but the jury reacted when they saw them. Now, court was extended for lunch today, but on the way back into the courthouse was Diddy's family returning to the courtroom this afternoon. More than a half dozen still images were captured from freak-off videos, and after seeing one of the pictures, one female juror let out a deep breath and had her hand on her chest. A male juror looked at the screen, and he seemed to have moved his eyes away from the screen quickly. And another male juror wrote something down on his notepad. Earlier before lunch, Cassie testified that Diddy would threaten her with releasing these videos.
All right, so that was it for that clip. So here's something. Just before the break, Cassie testified that the longest freak-off she participated lasted for days. The freak-off became a job, she said, adding that the other encounters sometimes lasted 36 to 48 hours. She testified the marathon sessions often left her needing to recover from dehydration and fatigue and drug use. So, I mean, what you guys are witnessing here is a dirty figure. Like any man, it's sexual perversion, I truly think. Like, if you're using all of these oils and you're doing all of these things, it's only gonna, the oils is crazy, man. The oils is crazy. But like, you know what? Before I even give my full opinion, let's just give y'all the information. So that's what she said. Any take on this, Marquette?
Well, we can already see that we have a lot of phoniness and falsehood, and this is why politicians lie to you, because people can't handle the truth. We have them talking about, you know, the jurors just looked at the photos and had to turn their head away. And one woman put her hand on her forehead, and a male juror put it away and took a gasp and wrote down a note. Like, all of these people are consumers of adult content. I'm like the only person I know that doesn't watch adult content. So I don't want to hear people acting like this stuff is just so outrageous. Like, y'all are probably watching Korean midgets have intercourse with donkeys on a regular basis. So I don't want to hear people acting like, oh my God, like I can't even discuss it. They're like, you know, the information here is too serious for us to even state it on TV. It's like, shut up. You got an audience of people who started watching adult content when they were age 7. Like, we need to stop with the pretend nonsense. And it's actually quite dangerous. And this definitely comes from European white culture, where they pretend as though the woman is like so chaste and so moral, when in reality, if you just look at them, you can see that that's not the case. They're extraordinarily promiscuous. I'm talking about women in the West, Cassie included, the woman reporting included, the women on the jury included. They're extraordinarily promiscuous. None of them are pure. They were never chaste. They started watching adult content as kids. They've been experimenting sexually since then. And now they're pretending as though they're shocked. And this kind of facade is dangerous, because what happens is when you have, say, Cassie and Diddy are going back and forth and they're texting and they're dirty talking, right? And he's like, yeah, girl, when I see you, I'm going to take it from you. And then when you go to court and you read that same text message, then it's like, oh, he was trying to SA her. He was trying to take advantage of her. It's like, no, actually, they were just dirty talking. And most of you women have RAP space E fantasies anyways. So you were dirty talking, but because we're pretending as though you guys are all like uppity and, you know, goody two shoes, now we're going to pretend as though that's not a common female fantasy. And then we're going to pretend as though he is more of a monster than he is, when really he might have been participating in something that turns you on. as opposed to the other way around. So just merely the fact that she was the one recording all these freak-offs and it was in her phone, that tells us a lot of what we need to know. Shorty's a dirtbag. She's a drug addict. She's a typical industry slore, and she needs to be locked up with him too, because I don't want perverts like this walking the streets. You heard me? They said that one of these male prostitutes, I don't even want to say the word, but one of these male ex-workers went ahead and gave her to R. Kelly. Straighten them out. Straight. You're dehydrated. Ah, got it in your eye. My fault. Put some goggles on. Ah, like that's crazy to me. I don't want to hear nobody force you to do that. That's a voluntary act. And I also don't want to hear chicks over here talking about like, well, that's her man. That's what he wanted. Cool. But stick with him. Don't turn around and then go spread this to the whole public. It just lets me know that you're shameless. Because if she really was a woman who didn't like that and truly found that to be degrading, we'd have never heard about it. I mean, Cooley, how many chicks you done peed on?
0.
How many have you peed on that we know about publicly?
0.
So most of them is keeping it a secret that you peed on, right?
Nope, never peed on none. 0 and counting. 0 and counting.
I'm messing with you, bro.
and I'm one of the brothers that is right along with you, man. I don't watch any corn or anything like that, man. No flap over here. No flap over here, brother. So here's another picture. So we're bringing up these clips because the video that you just watched, some of the things and the pictures and the photos of the nasty acts that took place, that's what they were talking about in that news clip. So here it says, Cassie says antibiotics stopped working after constant UTIs from Diddy's freak-offs. Also claims she had mouth sores. That's herpes. From too much oral sex. So yeah, if you got any mouth sores and stuff like that, she had to clap. That's called that clap. So in regards to this, like when you are a sexual deviant, it's consequences. There's consequences for your actions. You know, if you're being promiscuous, having unprotected sex and doing anal and all of these things and using, gallons of baby oil, man, you're gonna wake up with the bump, or you're gonna wake up with the lump, or you're not gonna wake up. It's going to be one of those. So let's actually get to this other clip because yesterday, day number 2 in court, her man was there. So her current boyfriend, and Cassie is currently 8 months pregnant, and she's in a relationship with Alex Fine, I believe his name is. So let me go ahead and bring that up real quick.
Have you seen him before? Like, put it this way. Had you heard of Cassie before this allegation?
Have I heard of Cassie?
Yes.
I have. Yeah, I have.
Shout out to you, bro. I guess I was just listening to gangster rap, apparently. I had no clue who Cassie was.
You know why? Because I'm from Jersey, and it's right there next to New York. So I'm from up north, East Coast. And, you know, if you're in my area, and if you're on the Northeast, then you're definitely listening to the Bad Boy records and all of that all the time. And then you're also taking notice of any newcomer that Diddy brings in. So she just happened to be one of those young little cute things back in the day that he brung on and put on game. You can even tell where it was never publicized, but you can tell that he was clapping cheeks from the early 2000s just because their relationship was a little bit weird.
I meant to tell you last time, I don't know if you had listened to the playback. I don't know if your mic is high or if you're talking loudly or just the nature of the room that you're in with the acoustics. Like there's an echo, but it's not from the software. It's just from either your mic is high or you're actually just your voice is loud, or just the acoustics of the room. Just for the next.
Let me go ahead and get that. It could be the room. Let me go ahead and get that turned down
right now. Yeah, you might not be able to fix it right now.
Okay, I appreciate that. Let me see if I could do something with it though to make it a little bit better. I'll go ahead and turn that up. We'll turn that down. Okay. So it has Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, storms out of the court after hearing his wife reveal what most women take to the grave. So I got a question for you, Marquett. Imagine.
No, sir. No, sir.
It's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good question. It's an either or. Either or. So you can either be him, Alex Fine, let me finish. You can be Alex Fine, and you're engaged to, you're married to a woman that's, been through all the things that Cassie done been through and publicized, or you can be in a relationship with a single mom.
Knock it off.
Gotta choose one. You
Knock it
gotta
off.
choose one. Hey, chat, make them choose one. Make them choose one.
Listen, here's the wild part is that you position the single mom as though she was such a diabolical figure. She's such a diabolical figure that she's as bad as no. This woman was a demon. You know, slide if the single mom, if her rap sheet ain't nothing like this, slide the single mom. You heard me?
I had the single mom over. Okay.
Cassie, because remember, it in part is you don't want to raise someone else's kid. That's one piece of it, but it's also that as a representation of the woman's character, right? You know, a representation of her being unruly, the fact that she can stay with the baby daddy. But if her behavior is not as bad as Cassie's, bro, slide the single mom all day. It's not even, it's a no-brainer. What?
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that. Let's get to this video of him storming out. This looks crazy. Just look at the watch his face.
He act like he didn't know though. That's what get me mad. Like, bro, stop with the theatrics.
Can you see this on your end, Marquett?
It's loading. Is that what it's doing on your end?
No, I'm gonna make it big then. It ain't loading. Let's go ahead and do this. Now you can see it, right?
Yeah. They're in some ultra cute pics that I would never take.
All right, so here we go, chat.
How is Cassie doing,
That man do what he doing. And we getting a shot. Watch yourself in the front.
So, like, just imagine you were in, and it's a high probability that she did not disclose all of this information to Alex Fine, her husband, prior to this. It's a high probability.
You're saying prior to her getting married or prior to the case?
Prior to her getting married.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
Prior to her getting married, it's a high probability that she did not disclose that, Diddy was bringing in male escorts and having those male escorts urinate on her, doing a lot of freaky things, getting jumped off for hours and hours.
Bro didn't care. Like, bro didn't care, man. Come on, look at dude. Dude dressed like he worked at the gas station. Like he dressed like that one dude.
He probably didn't care.
Yeah, no, he don't care. He looked like a dude that worked at a mechanic shop but can't fix no cars. Like he just be there hanging out smoking cigarettes. Like he didn't care at all, bro. Now come on, you know some of them balls be like that.
Some of them, hey man, they do be like that. We know a few of them out here, and I don't know why. Never mind. I was gonna say something, but never mind. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it.
I already know.
We're gonna hold that down. We're gonna hold that down. All right, so let's get to this other clip here for you guys. Because it's a lot of information. And also, like Marquett stated, you want to go ahead and give actually send it to me. If you have any clips that you guys want me to, that you guys want us to bring up for this Cassie trial, go ahead and send it to me at No Fugazi Podcast on Instagram. So send it to me there, and I'll go ahead and bring those up. All right, so let's get to this other clip that we have here, because it's a lot of weird stuff going on. And Marquett, while I'm bringing up this clip, I had another question for you too. Funny questions, because, kind of one of the purposes while me and Marquett are, joining up and doing this podcast together is to give you guys some good information, some good content, and also good entertainment. So within this, Marquett, baby oil or a shot of Henny?
I'm gonna need an elaboration.
Nope. It's either or. Listen, man, you going with the baby oil or you taking a shot of Henny? I don't drink, and I know you don't drink. Right. We are two non-drinkers.
Yeah,
so baby oil.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's wild.
You gotta go either or.
Are you drinking them? Are you rubbing them on your elbows? I mean, what's going on here?
Who knows? You could listen, man. You could be doing anything you want to do with the baby oil.
The thing is, as a young black child, if you had a proper mother, there is at some point, it's probably on picture day, your mama didn't just, rub baby oil all over your face. You're sparkling. You're Krispy Kreme donut, fresh out the oven. So you go in there getting your shine on. So, I'm not a stranger to baby oil. Now, me personally, do I want to like have a broad all slick and slippery? Like, nah, I never used to understand that. Like, I remember back in the day when I was a young boy, and this is like when adult content was first coming out, and like at high school, like some weird kid might every now and then like think it was funny and like pull it up on like a school computer, because you ain't really have smartphones like that. And there was this one site, I think it was called onionbooty.com. I'm pretty sure that was the site. I'm sure there's some people in the chat that can verify this. And I remember the first time I'd ever seen anything like this, it was just like some like big Latina butt just oiled up. And the first question that came to my mind was like, why did you put oil on this girl's butt? Like, why is her butt shining like that? Because I'm thinking like you can't grip it. You heard me? Like I want to be able to grip the wagon. I don't want it to be all, all slick and evasive and elusive. I feel like they're getting oiled up like they're about to fight 5 rounds in a boxing match or something. It's very strange to me. But I'm sure there's some people in the chat that like these things. You can elaborate and help me comprehend.
Hey, man, listen. All right, so we have... So here's some more information that was disclosed today from the trial. So this is day 3. So Cassie alleges she was raped by Diddy on her living room floor in 2018 while she was dating her now husband, Alex Fine. His eyes were black. So actually, what I presupposed before was wrong. He probably did know about all of the horrific things that she went through, and he still chose to wife her up.
Yeah, bro didn't care. Look at bro. He didn't care. You heard me? Like, listen, if my female came to me, she was like, look, Sean Puffy Combs or anybody, I don't care who it was, and I don't care how much money they have. They're like, he did this. And I'm like, you just gonna have to let bygones be bygones, okay? Because you're not about to embarrass the whole family. You're be like, we ain't that, bro. You ain't embarrassing the whole damn family. No. This is despicable. But the thing is, they're going for a money grab. That's all it is. Because her boyfriend, like, who is bro? Like, do you know bro? Did you know him before this case?
Nah, I did a little research, and it seems like he was like a male model or something like that.
Yeah, so he's broke right now. Got it. Yeah. So it's like, knock it off. He's a weirdo. And all those folks in Hollywood are skittle guzzlers. And the thing about Diddy, I was listening to the case, and when they would set up these rendezvous, if you like, they would go and talk to the escort and say, hey, you're going to come in, you're going to give this female the good old 1-2, but while you're doing it, it's going to be some weird dude in the corner. And they're like, who? Adam 16? They're like, no, not him. A different weird dude, a black one. They're like, who? DJ Fatademics? Like, no, not him. A skinnier, weird black dude in the corner. And then they're like, but don't worry, he's not gay. He just likes to watch. Well, as it turns out, no, that is gay, actually. See, actually,
super gay.
I need to write a dictionary of all things that are actually gay. Because on the internet, people like single black moms, single moms, overweight white women, feminists, they'll call someone gay because they don't agree with you. But in reality, there are a number of things that are actually gay. Watching other males have intercourse, that's gay. Watching adult content with other males, that's gay. I even saw nowadays it's like web 2.0, like it's like social media adult content, like you could comment on the videos, like it's YouTube. And I'm just like, what in the world? Like y'all didn't just finish beating your meat. You heard me? You didn't just finish dealing with Pamela Henderson. You've been dealing with Hannah Jobs. And when you finish, for some reason, after you didn't like clean your hands off with some baby wipes, you feel the need to type a message to interact with other men in like the comment section of an adult video. Like y'all are majorly weird out here. And that's why I want adult content banned. I believe in freedom, but I realize that this is a freedom that is too pricey. Some things are just not worth it. Adult content has to be banned because these people out here are too weird. And these broads are pervs too. I remember back in the day, females would be ashamed of certain things. They'd be ashamed of watching adult content. Even guys were ashamed of watching adult content. Now these broads ain't got no decency, calling themselves gamers. The chick hollered at me recently, like I looked at her IG profile, said she's a gamer. Man, I blocked her instantly. Weird at broad.
I'll tell you guys a story, because since it's on this topic about, males watching other males smash their chicks. So I'm about probably 20 years old at this time. talking to this little John, little white king, and busting her down, busting her down. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up. I had to, put her back to the streets, and we separated from talking for maybe like a year or something like that. Okay. She gets married, and she's like, hey, she hits me up like randomly, or has one of her friends reach out to me. She's like, hey, well, her friend reached out to him like, hey, so-and-so is looking for you. Can you speak to her, call her here? I'm like, yeah, I'll reach out to her. Reached out to her. She's like, hey, I just want to know how you were doing. I'm currently married, and it isn't like my husband, he is into like me watching guys plow me. But the only guy that I could think of to plow me is you. Because I haven't had anyone else besides him. The last guy was you. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what happened there. Oh, let's get that off. There we go. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no, that's just not me. I'm not interested. Then she calls me back 2 weeks later, like, he'll pay you. He'll fly you out and pay you.
You about to get flued out?
It was a couple rackies. It was on my mind like, man, I already done beat this before, man. I could get these couple racks, but nah, I'm not about to do that and watch some weird nigga watch me in the corner. Nah, I'm not playing them games. So I kindly and fastly declined for the second time. So there are weird dudes out there. Weird dudes out there that got fetishes about black guys too, because he had a fetish. He was a white guy, had fetishes about black guys pounding his little white girlfriend, white wife. And it was weird, man. It was weird. I was 20 years old at this time too. Imagine as a 20-year-old guy, 20 years old, and this is happening. So there are weird people out there, just like Diddy, that's into some weird kinks and stuff. It's sexual perversion. It is the act. It is the mindset of the devil, and they take on the actions of the devil as well. But I want to go ahead and play this clip right here, Marquett, because I want to get your take on it. This is from this journalist. He has some good take on the trial. Let's see what he says.
I hate to say it. The bottom line is people who came to watch the case were walking out. I hate to say it. We were getting bored in there with Cassie's testimony. I think everybody thought it was going to be explosive. This is a RICO case. They're trying to show S-affing, if you know what I mean. And I hate to say it, but the government is doing a terrible job at showing it. Now, they are showing, yes, domestic violence. They keep asking her, so at these freakoffs, who selected your outfits? Who Diddy? But they're not showing, okay, this escort was taken, traveled here for this. And it's not showing multiple people involved. All you're seeing the government prove is that Diddy committed domestic violence, but that is a state case that is not need a federal trial. So I hate to say it, guys. We know we don't want this. But I think Diddy could get off on the RICO charges. I'm not.
Okay. What's your take on that, Marquette? So he's essentially saying that, they're focusing more on the domestic violence stuff instead of what he's actually being charged for, which is the RICO case. So what's your take?
Number one, the guy said he thinks Diddy's going to get off. Now, Diddy's gotten off enough. You heard me? Diddy need to not get off. Broden got off many times. Apparently, they used to have a freak off every week, which just seems like an awful lot. I mean, the greed of this man. But with regards to the actual case, I truly believe that if a woman enters into a marriage with a man, and that doesn't need to be a legal marriage, it used to be intercourse, which would lead to procreation, is marriage. But when she entered into a relationship, a committed relationship with Diddy, which should be a marriage, right? I think dating is probably not a good thing to do. Dating essentially for a woman is promiscuity. This is a woman engaging with a man she doesn't intend to build a family with. But let's just take on marriage as a term. So if you're married to a man as a woman, you're his property. Whatever he decides to do with his property is his personal business unless you seek for a divorce. So in the United States of Marquettica, if a woman does not seek for a divorce, whatever bro does in his household, that's his personal business. So that's number one. Then number two, the RICO statute was intended to pin down figures like an Al Capone, a John Gotti, figures that were essentially engaging in crime effectively, and the incompetent policing force could not find real evidence. So they created this all-encompassing statute that basically allows them to pin crimes on someone who has not done them directly, where there's very little evidence. It's really the government's the government conceding that they can't get the bad guy, so they'll just create laws to get done what they're really trying to get done. And this is another verification that your government is exceedingly corrupt because they work with crime, which means your government itself is a co-conspirator in crime. Sammy the Bull, serial murderer. He's out walking the streets today because he collaborated with the government. So this government is not trustworthy at all. If the government actually followed its own laws, which it does not, then I think reasonably, based on the laws on the books, Diddy should walk free. And at the very least, he should have minor charges that might not even require jail time. But here's what we need to be concerned about. Why is it there's admission of constant uses of illicit drugs? Why is Cassie not catching a case for using drugs? There's her paying those who are night workers, shall we say. Why is she not getting a case for paying night workers? Why are all of her crimes forgiven as though she was not an adult, as though she did not make those decisions and actions? That's what we have to be concerned about. And that only reveals that our system is highly matriarchal, irrational, and unreliable. It's a shame.
Yeah, so there were 6 prosecutors, which is a lot of prosecutors prosecuting Diddy, and then Diddy had 7 to 8 lawyers of his own. The judge said it's going to go about 8 weeks long. So this is only day 3 that we're in, and they haven't even got to anything RICO, like you've explained. It's kind of nonsensical. But they're focusing on the domestic violence. Also, they're focusing more on the things that, like, so within this case, Cassie is expressing her love and stuff for Diddy. So it's like his defense lawyers could easily be like, well, like she chose to be in these freakoffs. Like it's an easy, like we could just, the accountability is right there. You were in love with him. She never really said that, oh, he tied me up and forced me to do this. That was never disclosed. It's more like, oh, I loved him, so I wanted to make him happy, so I did it. Take accountability, chick. It's that simple. Take accountability. So, like Marquett said, is Diddy a dirty, nasty nigga? For sure. Did he commit an actual crime besides being a dirty, nasty nigga? We didn't see anything as of yet. So, I got another. You got anything on your end, Marquett, that you want me to bring up?
Well, what we have to consider, and this is something I notice increasingly because every morning I watch the financial news. I want to know what's going on globally in terms of geopolitics, but of course with financial markets, not only on the New York Stock Exchange, I want to know what's going on all of them. And so I'm constantly watching, all of the analysts and economists, and I keep noticing like either half or more are always female. So when they're getting into these positions where they're the academic or they're the consultant or they're the financial person or they're talking about, big deal stuff, futures and, all these financial instruments that are fairly complex, these are going to be the people that are going to be running the Federal Reserve tomorrow. They're going to be managing policy for the United States and big governments around the world. These are women. They're going to be going in, becoming attorneys and judges in higher numbers. And it's going to come that 80% of those who rule our society are going to be women. And what that means is that our society is going to be irrational and unpredictable and dangerous, but particularly toward men. And so if we don't stop it now and take this seriously now, it will be a problem. I saw some folks who would call themselves red pill, which I think is garbage. #no pill. We drug free on this side. You did. All ism. I saw them responding to the case and sounding sympathetic to Cassie when really we need to take a hard position against these kind of females who act as adults, but when consequences come, they retreat to the position of a child. And you'll even hear the commentators when they speak of Cassie, they'll keep emphasizing, oh, but she was so young and she was in her early 20s. And it's like, no, at age 18, you're an adult. So if a young man can sign up for your military, you corrupt government, and go off and basically lose his life, make that much of a decision, then this girl can figure out if she wants to put baby oil all over her butt cheeks and get her back blued out, So that's the problem, is that this is actually a symptom of a sick society that's becoming sicker. And even the people on the internet who are supposed to be manosphere and RP, they're even, basically succumbing to the brainwash. That's why Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives, man.
Let's get to the super chat. So we got, I think this is on your end. It says, peace to the saints, Saint Ricardo.
Yes, indeed.
We got, let's see what else we got. We got a DKB, sends, he says, maybe you know how to read that. What'd he say?
Or Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso live, Peace of the Saints. I think they want me to do another spin on that one. And you know what? I just might. I got a little bit of time, actually. If you guys want to book consultations, this is the best week. Otherwise, don't do it after that. I'm going to be busy after the next 10 days. But yeah, I'll make a spin on that one. I'm down to do that. You know about Ibrahim Traore?
Nope, I do not, man. I do not.
He's a brother who recently took power in a landlocked francophone country in Africa, who's making some waves, has a good social media presence. I'll have to send you the link when I do that one.
Yeah, man. Send me the link. What language was that? What language is
French.
that? French. This guy how many different languages you know, man?
I know of many. How many do I speak fluently? That's a different story. But I tell you what, man, I can get into trouble in 3 of them. You hear me? I get a woman to undress in 4 of them. Carry on.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, Truth and Reality Undefeated says, Cassie chose the lifestyle over her self-respect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she a DV victim, but everything else was a choice. Basic buyer's regret. She's not an innocent victim.
At all.
Yeah. All right,
can I throw one thing in there? The gentleman said over her self-respect. See, we got to get away from that. That's what gets me mad is like, not everybody has self-respect. We're not built the same. There's levels to things. There's levels to sanity. Not everybody has a high level. There's levels to self-respect. Some people are sewer dwellers. That's who they really are. And we have to accept the differences in humankind and deal with the truth of the matter. There is hierarchy. You've been lied to under the false idea that there is equality. There is no equality. There's only hierarchy. So don't assume that people have values that they don't have. The only reason that she's acting as though she was wrong is because she can make $1. If she couldn't make $1, she wouldn't be here, spreading this to the public. She'd still be doing it. She'd still be getting broken off that check. You heard me? And here's the worst thing. And this happened to R. Kelly as well. You got a broad that'll sign an NDA. She shows up, tries to fleece you for $30 million. Hey, give me $30 million and I won't say anything. You get played out like a dummy because you don't know nothing about the Book of Dark Truths. You heard me? And somebody dropped the link to that. If you would have read the Book of Dark Truths, if she's a liar now, she's going to be a liar later. If she's your enemy now, she's going to be an enemy later, especially if you ever stumble or become weaker. So you get played out because you might be a good person or you might be a trustworthy person and you project your nature onto her. So she says, give me 30 million. I won't say anything about the nasty things we've done. So you break her off 30 million. Then what happens? She comes right back around, hops on the stand, testifies, and does everything she signed an NDA saying she wouldn't speak on, and then collects more money with a book deal, with a speaking tour. And that's what women are doing. They're never going to they don't keep their word in regular life. What makes you think they're going to keep their word when money is on the line? That's the exact same thing the woman did to R. Kelly, who had worked for him for years. So it's amazing how these people who have benefited from Diddy, who have been a part of the lifestyle, who have made millions because of him, turn around and do him dirty like this. And here's what's worse. You notice Diddy had enough people to fill up a party, called it a Diddy party. But where's his friends at? How do you have not a solitary friend all of a sudden? He might have been a villain, but even villains have friends. You heard me? Like everybody got, but it's like, bro, don't have no friends. He ain't got no family. It's like no one's in his corner. And that teaches you everything you need to understand about human nature. People love a winner. They hate a loser. They love you when you're on top. They abandon you when you're on bottom. People say it's lonely at the top. That's a goddamn lie. Man, it's crowded with bloodsuckers at the top. It's lonely at the bottom, stupid.
Yeah. It's like, when you think about it, like how can someone, because you got the Diddy trial, the Diddy case, you got Cassie, you got, men choosing these promiscuous women, you got men making poor choices, you got women making poor choices and men. And I always say on my podcast, like we tend to accept who we are. Me and Marquett, we don't smoke or drink. Just kind of clicked. I met this man in Las Vegas. We just was kind of on the same page automatically. Friends automatically, you know what I'm saying? Honest men. But when you peel the layer back to a lot of things and you are a man and you're speaking to a woman, if you smoke weed, you're very, very likely to accept a woman that smokes weed. If you are inadequate in a lot of things, if you are decisive, if you are indecisive, if you don't have integrity, if you don't stand for certain things, you will accept those individuals that lack as well, that share your same inadequacies. So, with that being said, if you master self, become a better version of yourself, you will make better mating choices. It's just a fact, bro. It's just a fact. Like, even with the disgustness, like when you get repulsed by things, some people don't get repulsed by things because they act nasty too. They do nasty, degenerate things, so they don't get repulsed by it, right? But if you don't do those actions and you see someone else behaving degenerate, you're going to be like, yeah, I don't care how bad you are. I know the waist is thin, the hips is out there, but yeah, I don't want you. I do not want you. Okay, we got another super chat that came up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay. Is this?
While he's pulling that up, shout to Uno, American 444, Richardson Richard, and Zwanane, who just became members on the channel. We appreciate you.
Nice. Let me see. I think that could have been it. I thought I seen something else here. Maybe he deleted his super chat after we were speaking because I read it and it was kind of off. But okay, Marquett, do you have any other videos that you want me to get to for this discussion? I got a few other ones that I could bring up, but I mean, we touched on a lot of stuff already.
Yeah, I got a few of them that give a decent breakdown. And I also think that in watching the videos, it's not only what they're saying, a big part of it is how they're saying it. So I do want to bring that to bear. So let me go ahead and pop up one of these. And this one is by Law and Crime. And I think that the way that they're talking about the situation is very telling.
You should be able to share it on your end. If you can't, you could just send it to me via email.
Okay, yeah, I think so. Let me just go ahead and pop it on screen real quick. Okay. And one thing I want to note, and no one's being honest about it, and that's why I hate dealing with simps. Honestly, they need to, have smiles put under their neck, if you understand what I'm saying. You hear me? Because a simp will go ahead and say, oh, like, she was getting degraded, being urinated on. It's like, are there no women that like that? Are there no women that enjoy that? Like, come on, man. Like, please stop it. Like, I personally have encountered at least two. You hear me? At least two. Talking about, don't get it on my face. No, I'm going to get it on your face. No, we out here now. I'm going to get it on your face. You asked for this. Yeah, it's like they're pretending as though now that this is in the public, it's for them to deny and act like they're like holier than thou. It's like, no, Cassie, like, you clearly are a pervert, because if this was against your values, you would have never been involved in it. Like, so don't now try to act like you find this disgusting. And why is no one questioning, well, maybe she liked it. Maybe she wanted to use drugs. This is what most people in the industry do. So we're acting as though it's impossible, as though she has some track record of being a holy person. Like, for example, when I was a young boy, just like every other kid in the hood, I wanted to be a rapper. And your boy got bars, just side note. But I wanted to be a rapper. The reason I never pursue rap is because every single time I go in the studio, people showing up late, people smoking weed constantly and drinking 40s. You heard me? And so I'm just like, this is so out of line with who I am. I won't sacrifice my integrity to pursue this other thing. So don't say that he used power and fame on you. No, you were trying to suck power and fame from him. That's the way we got to look at it. Not what he was offering, but what you were pursuing. So he didn't force you to lose your integrity. You offered it if you ever had any. But I surmise you didn't have any, because that's not an industry that people with integrity flock to. That's not a physician. You heard me? That's not a teacher, a fireman. Come on now. Anyways. Let's get after it.
I think you could go ahead and play it from your end. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Reba.
This is another law and crime legal alert. If you tumor patients were improperly.
If you can
Yeah, it's good.
So you can hear it.
Yep.
With definitely gripping and often harrowing testimony from his former. For nearly 6 hours, she testified. And I'm going to tell you right now, what she testified to, based on what we were reading in that courtroom, it was something. It was. There is a lot to get into. We are going to.
Here's the other thing that gets me mad is the pregnancy of women will use this as a tool. You may know the woman, the Theranos woman, the blonde white woman who basically scammed people for a tremendous amount of money, hundreds of millions. She went and got pregnant before going to jail so that they'd give her a lighter sentence. So this pregnancy, which is not her first kid, you hear it constantly being referenced. And this, again, is a tool to elicit sympathy. This is a display of some of the most low characteristics in the human female. And it's really unfortunate. What do you think of that piece?
Yeah, I mean, human beings, we just have an innate reaction, I would say, to feel sympathy for someone that is weaker. So this is why men, they have a normal reaction.
Someone that's weaker?
What'd you say?
Male or female? You said for someone that's weaker, male or female, we feel sympathy?
I would say in general, human beings just have this innate reaction to feel sympathy for the weaker person. Now, if you look at it, it's like, men, we normally, where you think chivalry and stuff like that comes from, because, they're the weaker sex, they're the weaker gender, so open up the door, be chivalrous. But, back in the day, those women, they were offering something to the table, so they deserve chivalry. Currently, right now, these women don't really deserve chivalry. But when you get a woman that's in her weakest state and she's pregnant, it's like, the media likes to highlight that so they can garner the sympathy from the public. So yeah, that makes sense, man. It's like, even when you think about it, like on a micro level, that was more of like a macro level. Even if you think of it on a micro level, and even if it's like in school and stuff like that, it's like the kids that was slow. I don't like to speak about it, but the ones that was a little bit they needed 3 to 4 teachers in the classroom. Right. You get what I'm saying? Because they're weaker. They need some help. So we always had.
They ain't weaker. You heard me? They ain't weaker.
Oh yeah, they got that They got that strength. They got that Riri strength. Yeah. They got that Riri strength. But like what I mean by weaker in many different forms. It could be physical weakness, mental weakness, stuff like that. So, I mean, we kind of cater to the weak. Let's just say that. But does that clip have more?
It does.
Okay. Yeah. Let's continue on.
Give you a comprehensive breakdown of every major moment from today's proceedings, because as you got the next best thing. From witnessing firsthand an exhausting day, particularly about what you heard, is it just insane?
Now, I want you guys to peep this. I think strategically they picked a female, and strategically they picked a black female. So anyways, let's see what Forehead got to say.
Insane out there again? Are we seeing tons of people, reporters, spectators? Just tell us what the scene looks like right now.
Cassie Ventura taking the stand. And so it was a lot of people just trying to kind of wear it. So a lot of public interest in this case as well, too, even throughout this week.
Whose wig is that?
And this was expected with Cassandra Ventura taking the male performer, I should say, who began his testimony yesterday, talked about how Diddy allegedly paid him to have sex with Cassandra Ventura, all while Diddy was not only watching but recording. And this happened to have,
why they show that
times.
face?
Again, Combs is charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking.
Pause it real quick, but the crazy thing is 50 warned us about this freaky nigga. 50 warned us about it years ago, like, nah. When Diddy offered to buy 50 Cent some clothes, 50 like this nigga just offered me to buy me some clothes, nigga, I should choke you up. Like 50 already knew from the door that Diddy was weird. And you gotta be a real sexual deviant to just, he's obsessed. Is much different. Like when you have an obsession with watching your woman, the woman that you claim, get plowed.
That's why. I don't even want to watch women that are not my woman get plowed. You hear me?
Exactly. I don't
That's
either.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
levels to it. It's like,
Yeah.
one, I don't watch any corn, so I don't want to watch anyone plow anything. So that's a
Right.
level. Then
Yeah.
there's a level of watching someone publicly, or, someone that's not your woman get plowed. That's a level. He took it to the extreme. No, all the women that I wife up, I want to watch it. And it makes sense, which is the reason why J-Lo ran away from homie. But J-Lo, she got her own problems.
Well, you
But
notice J-Lo's been silent throughout all of this, and that's the
He
kind of thing that
has.
makes you think. But also, we have to know that if J-Lo didn't experience any of this deviant behavior, then what Cassie experienced is based on Diddy identifying something in her that is also in him, to what you said earlier. But I want to challenge one common idea. The idea that men were chivalrous because women used to be worth something. I don't think women were worth a lot more back in the day. They behaved better because the culture was different. However, chivalry as a concept always originates from weak males. My experience on earth has been that if you're a strong man, a desired man, you have to put in minimal effort. You don't have to do anything. If you're a weak male, you must make displays. You must get the flowers. You have to remember the birthday. You got to give the gifts. You have to be nice to her family. You have to be liked by your mommy. You have to be favored by your friends. So chivalry is an expression. It's a formalized, institutionalized set of behaviors that give an advantage to weak males so that they could get some women or the women that they desire. Whereas men who really are desired, they're called bad boys. What is a bad boy? The one who breaks the rules. And the rules are the chivalry bit. So today we think and we look back like, oh, chivalry died because women aren't worth anything. I wouldn't say so. I don't think they've ever been worth much. It's just that we were dominating them more. And that's why I say Ike Turner's an American hero. But, but carrying on.
That makes sense. Let's continue on.
Prostitution. So we're talking about coerced sexual performances. Key witness here. Elizabeth, what came out of cross-examination today of this witness?
Well, the cross-examination was continued by Xavier Donaldson, and it was interesting to kind of see him in action even yesterday as he was essentially questioning him on, returning to the Gramercy Park Hotel. Why was Diddy sitting in the corner? Why did he notice that specifically? He was asked about what was going on while he and Cassie were having sex. Donaldson asked, did Cassie take the lead? He says, he being Daniel Phillip, said they both did their thing. He was asked, was Cassie drunk? Daniel Phillip responded, no. Was Cassie high? Daniel Phillip responded, no. Did Cassie pay him or pay for a hotel? Daniel Phillip responded saying he just didn't know.
See, that's an important piece of evidence, which is, and people will often do this, women especially, oh, I was blacked out. I don't remember anything. Oh, you don't remember that train? No, it was like 10 dudes lined up. You don't remember none of it? You don't remember Bobby, Johnny, Tommy, or nobody? You don't remember none of that. Like, I was blacked out. Like, sure you were, sis. So they'll use the substance that they chose to consume as an adult voluntarily, and they'll use that to retroactively remove consent or to evade responsibility. And so it's quite funny that the witness that's supposed to be against Diddy is providing material evidence that suggests that, this bra was fully coherent. She just wanted to, you hear me? She's trying to get her freak on.
Facts. Continue on.
They were talking about the alleged assault that had happened at Cassie's apartment, something that Cassie herself had even testified about as well, too. And so essentially a lot of these questions back and forth were just pretty much to kind of get clarity. There were some points in the cross-examination I was kind of like, where is this going? But maybe from the defense's perspective, they were essentially trying to make that argument that Cassie was coherent. She wasn't under the...
These sketches be diabolical, and I don't even use that word. I think the niggas that use that word is, I don't know, just following a trend. But hey, listen, that's why you ain't gonna catch me in no courtroom. They sketch me up like this nigga.
Nah, bro.
Hey, if they do me this dirty, man, this is crazy. What?
Influence of any... type of drugs or alcohol when these freak-offs were occurring, or when these encounters were occurring, I should say. What was interesting about Daniel Phillip when he had actually walked into the courtroom, something that interesting moment. I mean, earlier this morning it wasn't raining just yet, but it wasn't exact right incident, or not even an incident per se, but talking about a moment in December of 2023. And this is when Xavier Donaldson brought up Daniel's friend named Malia. And essentially they were questioned, or Daniel Phillip was questioned about when he saw Cassie outside of the Dream Hotel here in downtown New York City. Apparently Daniel Phillip had told this friend Malia about his relationship, and I put that in quotations even here in my.
I hate to say it, but she aight. I'm not saying she's bad, like not good, but she aight. And I'm just like, see, a lot of folks think that as soon as you get the money and the power, you're getting just cream of the crop. That's not the case. You're getting a higher volume of woman. Depending on your industry, that's going to define the quality and what's available to you. But this is the best that she can look. They're on the red carpet. This is as good as she gets. And she just still aight.
Yeah. What would you rate her? 1 to 10 right here.
Just based purely on looks, 8. Tops.
8.
Tops. And honestly, once you strip her down, take off the makeup, the spray tan, I'm gonna go ahead and say probably a 6. Cause she ain't got no body.
Yeah, I was about to say that. She ain't got the wagon. She got no wagon at all. So it's for me, I would actually give it a lower score. I'll be 7.
Right.
7 for me, because I need the wagon.
She ain't got the biddies. The biddies ain't on deck. She got these A cups really served up. You heard me? They don't even look good. They look stiff. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible.
I know.
And then she got a cleft lip too. I don't know if you could see that, but she actually got a cleft lip. It looked like
the jaw
repaired. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is mid.
His relationship with Cassie, said that Cassie asked to call him later on.
She needs to stop looking down. Just side note, don't let her look down, because it just make me focus on her hairline and where her hairline should be at. Good Lord, that's terrible. Get her a beanie for the next newscast.
To meet her, the defense says it was for another experience, and Phillip said, no, that wasn't necessarily the case. The defense said, so Cassie called for a one-on-one after she wasn't with Diddy any longer. And so then another interesting point.
Why are they picking the most random photos of this boy right here?
That was
and all the photos with his mouth open doing something
Daniel
weird.
Phillip had met with federal prosecutors in March of just this year. So just essentially kind of one thing I kind of remember from Daniel Phillip's testimony is just kind of the way he would talk about Cassie. He kind of had more on October 7th of 2024, and this is where a sidebar had happened. And so after the sidebar was over, they were all of the cross-examination, all of the back and forth, kind of to give him, oral, rub baby oil on him. They were asked, Daniel Phillip was asked about money, given more money for sex, $3,800 more than he would be if he were to come over to dance, or for time, I should say. He said he was paid anywhere between $700 to $5,000, $6,000 just for sex, and then essentially he was paid $0 and 0 cents if he didn't have sex with Cassie or in the room with Diddy. And so, during the redirect,
I just hope during the trial somebody just says to Diddy, why are you gay? I just want somebody to ask, bro, would you consider yourself gay? I just want to know what he's thinking in his sick, twisted, dark mind. Real quick, shout out to Major Mind and Soul Writes Tuition, Peace to the Saints. May I also acknowledge JM writes, how is Cassie married with kids if Diddy held her against her will? Right, that part. That means Cassie could have left Diddy the entire, this wouldn't even be a story. You heard me? He writes, not just after 11 years, aka over a decade. Shout out to Akash supporting the work. May I also acknowledge DKB. I think you got that earlier. Shout out to Saint Ricardo. One of one writes, speak on DDG and Haley situation. I don't know who either of those persons are.
You know what? Yeah, I know who DDG is, but the girl, I think that's the woman from, she played in The Mermaid. She was the Black Mermaid or something like that. I'm not really sure about that situation, so we'll have to look into that if y'all really want us to break that down. But we got a super chat in here. $100 says,
double bowler alert.
will not be able to stay for the entire stream as I am working my 2 jobs and my SWE project. Thank you for the ism, Saint, and shout out to Cooley. Appreciate the support, man. We really do. Appreciate the support. All right, let's go ahead and get that closed out. Hey, man, I got you want to continue to play this, or you want to get into another clip?
Let's see what
Cassie
a little bit
normally
more on
didn't
this
respond
one.
to his text messages. Asked Philip and said that Daniel couldn't get an erection after kind of hearing the slaps going on in then they were talking under the recross. He was asked again about, text messages that he said he didn't receive responses to. And then some of the exhibits were showing that, Cassie had responded very casually when court had began his case. But definitely Diddy had his eyes on Daniel. Phillip was paying very laser focused.
She was the one who was enjoying this. She was a partner in what was going on and not a victim. That there was this text message, I think, that was sent to that you told them both that you love them. So it wasn't anything.
And that's an important thing, which is saying that the fella who was an ex-worker, or I'll just say a night worker, he sent a message to both Diddy and the harlot saying that he loves them. And the defense is saying, well, if you're saying that, then clearly you didn't find anything to be problematic. That's a reasonable argument, except that in the underworld, if you like, or in crime, there are a lot of our acceptance of things is different, right? Like, for example, if a woman is a bona fide street stroller, you can call her a bitch or an HOE straight to her face. That's not an insult. That's a job description. You know what I'm saying? Which she identifies with and embraces. So there are a lot of things that are acceptable within criminal culture that are not acceptable within mainstream or square culture. So I think that argument is a bit shaky, but I think it'll do well within the court system. But it's also strange that you and this person who's supposedly a paid night worker have such a relationship that you're exchanging social messages and they're professing to love you and Diddy. So I think that this is really a setup and it's another extortion thing, and it's not terribly different than what happened to Shannon Sharp, or I should say what it is happening to Shannon Sharp. Shout out to Jonathan real quick. He writes, Drip Trip 2026 and the Big Game Conference. Here I come. Peace of Saints. By the way, I'm having a Big Game Conference late July. I've only released it for members. Pre-sale pricing. Cooley, if you want to pull up, you're invited. I'm hosting it at the Plantation. So it's going to be a great time. We probably even going to pull out the football and have a nice full football game, you heard me, with 100 yards on it. But we talking real game. How do you get women? How do you dominate? How do you retain? How do you get what you want? The whole nine, all things women related. So if
I may have to pull up. You
better pull up, man.
When is that going to be?
That's going to be July. And I don't want to say the wrong dates, but I think it's like 26 and 27. Someone can,
towards the end of July.
Yeah, the last week.
Yeah, man. I may just have to pull up on you.
Absolutely.
And let me see here. Do we have any other super? I thought I seen some.
Sire said Peace of the Saints. That's the last that I got on the super chat.
Last that you got on your end. Okay. Yeah, that is the last one. Okay. We can continue on with this one then.
Nefarious that was going on, that she was being forced into this criminal sexual arrangement, but she was a willing participant, and it just might be a kinky, sexy episode, but not a crime. So I kind of understand where the defense was going by ultimately cross-examining him. But now we got to talk about Cassandra Ventura. So before we even get into the substance of what she had to say, and there is a lot to like with her walking in, and either when she got on the stage,
we were all thinking it was going to be like just stand by, everyone. It was, that was very apparent. That was very obvious. So she kind of walked in. It's not like she was smiling necessarily at them. That was not the case at all. She kept laser focused. She walked just straight to the witness stand. His direction from what I could see. I didn't see her once kind of look over or give him an eye or a look or anything like that. She just walked immediately to the witness stand. She raised her right hand.
You got another clip you want to pop on while I pull up my other one?
Yeah. I got one right now. I'll pop up. Okay. Hey, let's get the likes up. Also, everyone that's in that's currently tuning into the podcast, you may be on Marquett's channel, The Saint, or you may be on my channel, No Fugazi Podcast. But I want you guys to do, I want all of you to do, go over to The Commission Podcast. It's at The Commission 1. It's also, the link is, the @ is right in the comment and also in the description. You could just click on that and get right to it, or just type in The Commission 1, and you'll see our podcast. So go ahead and subscribe to the new podcast, man. And let me get this clip pulled up. All right, here we go. Let me know if you could hear it on your end, Marquett.
Here's a summary of Cassie Ventura's testimony today, her first time taking the stand. She described freak-offs in which Combs would allegedly watch her having sex with other men. She said that it happened frequently, even weekly at times during their 10-year relationship. She said that they happened in places like New York, Miami, LA, Las Vegas, Turks and Caicos, Atlanta, etc. She said the last one happened in 2017 or 2018. The prosecution...
Homie done took her on a freak-off tour.
And she was there for it.
Hey, listen, man. And that's the crazy thing. Like, women do not like to take accountability for, their poor choices. They'll go ahead and make a choice, and then they'll feel regret and shame based off the choice that they made in the past, and then try to extract the blame from themselves and place the blame on someone else because they don't like to deal with them demons in their mind because they made those wrong choices. I mean, it's a crazy thing to see. You're seeing it displayed many times when, with this case, with the Shannon Sharpe case, with Amber Heard, with all of these women making these accusations on men that just don't hold too much validity. What it seems to be that, yeah, they participated in it and they actually wanted it. So it's weird. Let's continue on.
Let me ask you something real quick, Cooley.
Sure.
Are any of these women not white that are doing this? Are they all white women?
Cassie, what is Cassie? Is she mixed? She look white.
Shannon Sharpe, white woman.
Shannon Sharpe, Amber Heard, white.
Amber Heard, white woman. Who else are we missing? Drop it in the chat. Let us know who.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat if most of them are white women.
It does seem like a white woman's hobby, though, to slap false charges on people. It's kind of weird, actually.
That is true.
All of Bill Cosby's were white. So it just kind of makes you, and I believe that the white woman is the most empowered person in any society. They can turn around and call the white man a racist as though they're not racist. They can call the white man privileged as though they didn't grow up as his daughter or as his wife. So they're extraordinarily privileged, and they can still retreat to I'm a victim anytime they want, even though they have high income. They'll talk about equality and pay gaps, but they never mention the pay gap between the white woman and the black male. It's like they say men make more. Well, what about the black man? He makes less than you. Are you trying to fix that pay gap? Of course not. So white women are actually a danger to society, the liberal white woman.
The liberal white woman, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of like what we see out there. We're just going based off our observation. My observation would be, yes, I see this type of behavior. Women making false accusations on men normally comes from white women. But then if we look at it on the other hand, who happen to be them freaky niggas, I would say it's usually not black guys. It's usually the white men. Like, we got the weird people that are into watching their chick get plowed. Like, it was surprising to know that Diddy was into that because that's normally not a black thing. What we've observed is a lot of white men being into that. Let's just say that.
She said she enjoyed spending time with Combs. She felt like it was their time to be one-on-one because he was always surrounded by people. It allowed them to be together. And she said, quote, I felt very close to Combs. Ventura said that Combs would pick out her outfits for the freak-offs, directed her on how she was to interact with these male escorts, and provided her with drugs like Molly, ecstasy, ketamine. cocaine, mushrooms,
everything.
even Viagra.
Everything. Imagine dressing your chick like, yeah, I want you to look cute for this other nigga. Yeah, put on that. He gonna like that. Put that on right there.
Actually, that is the era that we live in. That's funny you say that, because that's really what's happening. You ever go out in the world and see a young lady, she got some jeans on, she looking hella thick, but she's with a guy. Or she got them biddies is out, she got a nice low cut shirt, and you're like, them looking like water, but she's with a guy. So it actually is happening on a consistent basis that the women go out and they're dressed up for other men because we know what they look like. And that's why me personally, if I'm ever with a female, she's, her pants are tight, or, her dress is short, or she wants to wear high heels, which, mind you, that's a uniform for a woman that works at night. If she wants to wear these things, I'm kind of looking at her like, you're a dirtbag to me. You hear me? Like, because if it were up to me, if you ask me what I want you in a niqab. You hear me? I want you damn near in a trash bag, or better yet, at home. You dig? Yeah. So you out here advertising, and you'll hear immoral people say things like, oh, you're insecure. No, I'm extraordinarily secure. It's that is not my culture, and that is not moral. And as a moral man, we know that there is a limit, and there's no need to advertise to bring forward things that we don't want. Showing your chest does not create good outcomes. And as a woman, we know you're being sexual, because if that wasn't the case, then men would be walking around with their cleavage out, and men would be walking around in short denim shorts with their butt cheeks hanging out. But we are not ones who actually are sex objects. We don't objectify ourselves. We have other merits, whereas women complain about being objectified, but they actually are sex objects, and that's wholly their value for most of them. And because of that, that's what they advertise first and foremost.
It's a famous line. 50 Cent once said, yeah, if your career is, your beauty, it's a high probability you're gonna do something hoish.
Absolutely.
If your career is based off of just only how you look, it's a high probability that you're gonna do something hoish. All right, cool. Let's continue to play on.
Viagra. That's right. She said that Combs told her to take Viagra because it had the same effect on a woman that it does on a man. She also said that she always used drugs for freak-offs. Ventura noted that she spent
And that's another thing, like she always used drugs for freak-offs. This is when it's like, it's a choice. Like, how don't the jury know this? It's like a chick that work at the strip club. Most of them chicks that work at a strip club, bro, they're taking some type of ecstasy, some Molly. They taking something, or they're drinking, so they can escape from this poor decision that they're currently making right now, because they know that it's immoral. So like the fact that what you're about to do is immoral, and it's degenerate, and it's not, it doesn't really favor you in your inside. So it's like, okay, let me go ahead and pop this pill. Let me go ahead and take this drug so I can deal with these actions that I'm about to do. It's like more evidence for you chose to do this, chick.
A lot of times, she said, trying to perfect her appearance because she said Combs would criticize her. Early in the relationship, she tells a story where she said Combs said, quote, "You look too Mexican," and would, quote, clown my chipped nail polish and dirty sneakers. Throughout Ventura.
Like, why would she include that in there? That's kind of dumb. Because that could be like, niggas make jokes all the time. But like, females are so petty. Like, one of the things that I've learned from even, reacting to some of these videos, to some of these cases, and doing some research, and also having a podcast of my own where I bring on, 4 to 7 girls per episode, it's like they lie. They'll come on my podcast, say one thing, right after the podcast, they'll be like, oh yeah, I just made that story up. Oh yeah, well, we weren't really in a relationship. Oh, actually, I'm married. They make up all of these lies, but what they'll do is they'll sprinkle like a little bit of truth, but the rest will be lies. Like, I think probably what is true is, yeah, he probably did say, you look Mexican, chick, but he didn't say it to like degrade you. He probably was just joking, but he was like, yeah, I want to ruin his name anyway. I kind of remember that one joke he said. Let me go ahead and just put that in there. Chicks is evil.
For his testimony, she said that she felt confused, worthless, and like an object because of those freakoffs. Combs' family was in the courtroom, 6 of his children, his mother, as well as the mothers of some.
Question to you, Marquett. If you could just put yourself in one of these brothers' shoes, if your pops was going through all of this, what would you be thinking right now if you could put yourself in one of these brothers' shoes?
Well, that's impossible because, I couldn't have my values that I have if my father was like this. But if I had my values and my father was going through something like this, up until I figured out that he was a homosexual, I'd be supporting him. And I think in the absence of anyone that you deal with being a skittle guzzler, one who abuses children, if they're not doing those two things, you need to ride with them to the very end. That is my code with regards to loyalty. Everything else, cool. It is what it is. You heard me? Oh, you caught a body? Well, it get like that sometimes. You heard me? Oh, you blacked her eye? Well, hey, man, maybe she wanted to get a tan. You started it off for her. But, anything short of you're a skittle guzzler or you deal in wrong way, immoral ways with children, I can forgive. But that I cannot forgive. So to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't even be in the courthouse because I don't condone that at any level. It is filthy, even at the level of bestiality. It's that filthy to engage in that kind of behavior. So no, I don't engage. I don't condone that at any level.
Got you. I got another would you rather question.
Yeah.
I know the audience gonna like these.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a whore daughter or a gay son?
I'll take the slower. Slide it.
You know what?
Slide it.
I thought, I have 2 daughters and a son, and I thought about it deeply. I'm like, yeah, no way. I'll take the slower.
Oh man,
it's bad. It's like, God dang. Like if homie turned gay, if homie gay, I could just create another one. I'll go ahead and create another one.
Yeah, no, that's an abomination.
I got to create another one. So I get a straight one.
I might be scared to create another one. I'm like, man, I messed that up so bad. Maybe I should just, you're like.
Oh man. All right, let's continue on with this.
Some of those children. The defense has yet to question Ventura, who will take the stand for day 2 tomorrow.
Okay, I got another clip here. You got anything you wanted to react to, or you wanted to get to the super chats?
Yeah, I do have one.
Okay, let me go ahead and close this.
Yeah, while it's loading up, let's see. A second.
Yeah, while it's loading up, go ahead and get the likes up, everyone. Like the podcast, whichever platform you're watching it on right now. And if you're watching it on the Saints channel or No Fugazi podcast or the Commission, go ahead and like the podcast. If you haven't already, go over to the Commission podcast, me and Marquett's joint podcast. Go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel immediately. Do that now for us.
Let me hit some super chats real quick. Shout out to Andre, came in via Venmo, right switch. And by the way, I already got the stream is ready to go. May I also acknowledge, shout out to Roderick, and this is the homie I actually grew up with. He came in via Venmo. He writes, and mind you, I'm not gonna get into it, but he writes, Cassie dated a producer/artist named Ryan Leslie. She left Ryan for Diddy. So she hopping, you heard me, she hopping, whatever's jumping. She has always been looking for a come up, not a surprise. Check out this video from this search. Cassie dating Ryan Leslie. Okay, bro, then sent a link too. Let me see what you got here. Okay, well, let me switch my share then.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that.
Okay. So let's see.
I'll go ahead and close this one out. Actually,
there it is
right there. Okay, cool.
All right, let's see. And shout out to the homie, by the way, from the neighborhood.
Ryan Leslie, aka R-Les, representing Next Election, and you're checking me out right now on one of the world's most infamous, hard-hitting, real information-getting resources online, VladTV.com.
This is a classic right here.
You guys working together. Yeah. Was this a romantic relationship? Well, it was a bit working together.
Pause this real
Vlad
quick,
is
bro.
actually young. I didn't even realize that was Vlad.
Yo, Vlad is in the camera.
Right.
It's like, what's going on here? Okay.
This might have been on a DVD and somebody uploaded this to the internet, bruh. All right,
Facts.
let's go in. Let's go in. Here we go.
At the time that she signed that first deal and you guys working together, was this a romantic relationship?
Well, it was a very personal relationship, and it was. She was close to everything that I loved. You know what I mean? So, music is just something that I love, and she's clearly just when two people have that much personal interaction, is going to be formed, and the type of chemistry that we had musically and personally, the relationship that we had was inevitable.
So you guys had some sort of romantic relationship during that time.
He's going in, right?
I mean, that's.
I'll say, I love Cassie.
Bro, time out. Pause this real quick. Why do this guy look like he could take his nose and his glasses off at the same time, and he placed it on his nightstand before he go to sleep, like put it there. Yo, homie look like only thing he's smelling right now is his chin and other air from below him. Why is his nose that far out from the rest of his face? Hey. What's going on here? Homie got no chin. No chin. Homie put on a helmet during football. The chin strap be on his nose.
You got that Inspector Gadget, huh?
Hey, bro, look crazy out here, man.
Have you ever heard of Brian Leslie before this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with her. I fell in love with the music. I fell in
time
love
out.
with
You
young
really
people
a
in New
West
York
Coast
City.
nigga.
No, in a real way, man.
You ain't never hear Ryan Leslie?
Nah, never in life.
Yeah, you really a West Coast dude because he only had like one good song, but he was more of a producer and a writer. He wrote for a lot of people, but that's about it. One song and that's all.
Okay.
Now, at what point sort of rift that happened to you? Because from what I understand, you don't talk to Cassie as much as you used to.
Right.
Is this true?
Yeah, that's 100% true.
So, was there a situation where a rift happened, between you two? Was it anything that you could pinpoint?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of factors, a lot of situations, a lot of nuances that I could pinpoint, but I don't feel comfortable talking about them publicly because they involve people and involve situations that, to this point, really don't have anything to do with my professional career. You know what I mean? Well, they don't have anything to do with my current professional career. So I don't feel comfortable talking about them, and, I don't.
What do you make of that?
One, he can't answer a direct question. Very feminine. Just tiptoeing around questions. Vlad seems like he's been being that Vlad ever since back then, asking those questions that people like him would try to avoid and try to escape. He didn't disclose nothing too much. The only thing he disclosed was that he was dealing with Cassie, and he was clapping cheeks, and, that was really about it. Everything else, he's like a chick with no chin and just a nose and glasses.
Yeah, it seems to me that, according to what Rod said, being that she jumped from him to a bigger star, P. Diddy, he clearly is alluding to the fact that Cassie left him for Diddy, but he doesn't want to speak on Diddy.
Let me check if he's under Diddy's record label or was, because it could be that's maybe why he's not speaking about it.
Right.
I'll check real quick while you're speaking.
Okay, cool. And while you're doing that, let me just take out a few of these pieces of support. Shout out to Ricardo, came in via Venmo. He writes, more tuition, Sassin or nothing in a real way. Shout out to Teddy with the bowler alert. He writes, peace of the Saints. Saint, I met a fine little Mexican ting back in 2023, and she told me she likes getting peed on, and she was a cop. These chicks out here are weirdos. But the real question, Teddy, is did you pee on her? That's the real question. I tell you what I would have did. Oh, I would have peed on her and said, F the police. Then I would have F the police. You dig? But she'd have had to be a side girl. Believe that. Would you, Cooley, would you pee on her?
Yeah, nah, man. I'm not into any of that.
No, I didn't ask you if you into it. I said, would you pee on her?
Nah, yeah. I ain't doing nothing like that.
Oh, bro. Well, next time you find one that says pee on her, bro, be like, look, I can't pee on you, but my man's slide my way, bro. Bro, I'm a pee on her and I'm gonna talk crazy to her afterward. You heard me? Disrespectful. out here. It ain't even my thing, but I don't mind disrespecting them. You might be fun. Anyway, shout out to Trayvon. He writes, what's one of your happiest memories and why? That's a interesting question. And you know what? That's a good question because I actually never asked myself questions like that. Let me ask you, Cooley, what's one of your happiest memories and why?
Man, that is a good question. That's like
this man got kids. He ain't even take the layup. He ain't even take the birth of my first child, bro.
Yeah, man. I seen all of my kids, born and stuff like that. But yeah, I wouldn't say that that's a happy moment as a man. For me being a father, that isn't the happiest moment. I would say one of my happiest moments is when I received the Spirit of the Holy Ghost. If I'm being honest, I would have to say that. I am one of them brothers, that was in church, praising the Lord. I happened to float up to heaven in the sky and start speaking a word. No, I didn't. All of that didn't happen. I'm joking,
man,
chat.
When I experienced the Spirit of the Holy Ghost,
I would have to say that was the peak of happy. Is it happy, joyful? It's more like it's an experience that it supersedes happiness and joyfulness. But right under that, I would have to say watching my firstborn be born. There for my firstborn.
Don't be stealing my answers, bro. Hell no.
Right under that. You ain't got no kids, though, man. You ain't even got no kids.
All right, but check this out. Here's the funny thing. So yours was receiving the Spirit of the Holy Ghost, which is a beautiful thing. Mine, I'm not going to elaborate on, but I'll just say in brief, you can read about the story in my book called The Black Box. You can get it on Amazon. And I was at the Boys and Girls Club in a storage closet. That's all I'm going to say publicly. We're going to carry on.
I don't think any of the people involved would feel comfortable about me talking about it, So I wouldn't do it unless I could make some phone calls and say, hey, I'm on Black TV right now. Do you have any problem with me, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
So I got some information. So it says, here on Google, it says, the quick Google search, it says, no, Ryan Leslie was not directly signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy record label, as an artist. However, Diddy did offer him a management contract and worked with him on various Bad Boy projects. So he was working with Diddy and as a writer and as a producer together. So this is probably why he's like, talking of Vlad and being very indirect, like, yeah, I don't really want to speak on that. If I say anything, Diddy gonna probably pee on me. So he's probably not with any of it.
Yeah. And when you have dominance within an industry, one doesn't have to directly work with you for you to impact their career, right?
True,
you can
indeed.
Blackball them. You can put in a bad word. Like even, for example, there's this guy who recently gained virality in the black entertainment space. And he recently did a bad business deal with Vlad TV. Well, you don't have to work directly with Vlad for Vlad to limit what you can do now because Vlad has so much juice in the YouTube space. So I think that makes sense that he's just basically, walking on thin ice with regards to this topic. I also pulled up the other one to get another perspective on how folks covered this case if you want to go through that one.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Graphic and disturbing. There's a lot that we can't even say on. Married now, she's due to give birth. She says she was forced to perform in lasted 4 days. She said they took place around the world, from New York to Miami to Spain. Was in control of every aspect of her life, where she lived, what she wore, right down to the color nail polish that she was allowed. Stomp me in the head. And this is a quote. She said, he would knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head.
Do you believe that?
I would have to.
I'm talking about the stomp part. Stomp me in the head.
From seeing the video, I actually have that pulled up. The video of them scrapping in the hotel or him dragging her.
Yes.
Due to the fact that I seen that, it wouldn't be hard not to believe that that's true, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Like if a man has the capability, I don't hit women and I'm not for guys that hit women, that hit chicks at all. But
you ever heard somebody say, I wouldn't hit a woman, but I slapped the shit out of a Why you bullshitting? You never heard that?
I've definitely heard that many times.
That might be some West Coast stuff, but go ahead.
You know, I'm one of the men that advocate, man, don't put your hands on chick. Try to avoid it. You going through some problems. She trying to swing on you. Pull out your cell phone and record her actions because you about to get in trouble if she's trying to swing on you, even if you're not trying to swing on her.
Have you ever gave a chick 5 across the eyes?
Never did. Yeah, never did.
Beautiful thing.
He said, Ben, I've experienced before the warm feeling on the back of my hand.
I ain't get to that level. That's abusive. You
ain't get to that. I feel you.
I ain't get to the back of the head and the black side. You hear me? That's when they doubly disrespectful. You start with the white, and if they ain't right, then you get to the black. You hear me? That make them get back. But no, in my situation, it was actually it was self-defense. In fact, the irony of this is how dishonest women are, and using the legal system in a way that is immoral is nothing new for women. I was 16 years old. Long story short, I was dealing with a young lady. She was a black female, but she grew up in like a Latino hood. So she was like a little bit more Latino and white culturally speaking. But anyways, I was dealing with this broad and I stopped dealing with her. And I've had a lot of issues with women in my younger days that can't accept when you kick them to the curb. And so anyways, I was out on the town one night with the homies, and she walks up on me with a couple of her homegirls. And she says, hey, I want to talk to you. And I said, but I don't want to talk to you. She proceeds to start grabbing my shirt. And I was like, hands off the Armani, dear. And she was like stretching my joint out. Like, you can't have a drunk collar. You hear me? We don't condone stuff like that. So she pulling my shirt. I was like, shorty, like, get up off of me. You wild. And she said, I need to talk to you. I was like, no, you don't. So then she tells her friend, say, give me the knife. Then her friend hands her a hawk. You heard? She didn't flip that. She got the knife out. I'm over here like, word, the homies laughing. They thinking it's a game. Me personally, I always take all threats seriously. I take all threats seriously. And she got a blade out. So I told her, I was like, shorty, like, go ahead with that bull. She's like, you gonna talk to me? You gonna talk to me? And then she started walking up on me with it, man. Pow, man. Swift. Pow, man. Ike Turner. We all start running, booking it, dying laughing. But here's the crazy thing. Very next day, bang, 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 bang. And in my head, I'm like, yo, like, that gotta be the police. I put my drawers on, go downstairs, look through the peephole, like, man, that's them boys. Yeah. Go back, put some socks on, because I'm like, I'm about to go to jail. You don't want to go to jail barefoot in your drawers. I go put my socks on, put my sweats on, open the door. You've been served. Served? Restraining order? What? So long story short, I got to go to court. She put a restraining order on me. And at that point, of course, I went with witnesses. The homies was with me when it happened and came to court as well. And in the courtroom, I had a white female judge. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, no. But it went well in as much as the truth came out. And the judge even said, do you want to put charges on Miss Dixon? And I said, nah, because me, I don't mess with the government. You heard me? I don't collaborate with the government, none of that. I was like, no, we don't do that. And the fact of the matter is that she pulled out a knife on me, also known as a deadly weapon.
Yep.
And then tried to get me on a restraining order and a potential assault charge. That's the level of devious dishonesty. And here's the crazy thing. Her mom was there with her, and she lied in front of her mom, lied to the court, but the female judge could tell that something wasn't quite right, and she pressed her and made her tell the truth. The girl starts crying in the courtroom, and then that's when the judge said, do you want to put a restraining order on her? And I was like, nah, just ask her to stay away from me. That'll do. So if a female way back before social media has the instinct, without even seeing the example, to use the legal system, could have potentially ruined my life and started my life on paperwork with the system, that is letting you know how dangerous and careless that they are.
Yeah. No, that's facts, man. That's facts. Question on that. If it was a man and they asked you, do you want to press legal charges, would you have done it? No. Okay.
And honestly, if it was a man, so being that it was a female, we forgive their stupidity often, right? We forgive their immaturity, their insanity, because they're females. If a dude pulled a knife out on me, I couldn't let that go, because that's a real threat. Like, damn, bro, like, you wanted to take my life? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, it's
yeah, like
different. It looked that different. Yeah,
I gotta see you about that. Yeah,
your
absolutely.
reactions in that entire situation probably would have been more ruthless, I expect.
What? What?
A lot more ruthless.
And this is what she talked about all day long in this New York City courtroom. We've got News Nation National from outside the court, the one to Shelley disgusting.
Yeah, shocking in front of really anyone here. I mean, you look at these sketches of Cassie. You said it, but I need to reiterate, these will be disturbing descriptions that at that point, someone in the courtroom actually had to walk, choked on. She said that a male escort had urinated in her mouth and she actually choked on it. And it was at that point, someone in the courtroom actually had to walk out of the door there.
Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that because one, your mouth has muscles which you can open and close. So the fact that she's explaining that a male escort urinated in my mouth and I almost choked on it, well, that's going to be very hard to do unless you open your mouth. And just like from this, what it reads right here on News Nation, it says, Cassie, he forced me into freak-offs because she doesn't want to take any accountability for her own actions. That's all it is. No, you was with it. You was with the urination. You was with all the gallons in the pools of baby oil. You was with all of them dudes sliding in between your soul gaps, smacking it and flipping it around. She was with all of it. So.
And the worst part is she went from Diddy parties, and it was specifically described when they said, because I guess you have to order these night workers like you order a pizza. You know what I mean? Like you just be on Uber Eats, kind of like picking the toppings.
She said Craigslist that they used to get them from or something.
Oh
like that.
no! Oh no! They wild
ones.
That's evil right there, boy. You have some out of work brothers over coming out of Yonkers in the BX. You hear me? They about to go earn that money. She about to get punished. But they said that they specifically request big black guys with big, you hear me? Really punching her guts. And so like she's just an animal, honestly. If it was in my kingdom, I'd probably just have her enslaved after this. That's what I would do, just like relegate her to a life of slavery. I'll probably enslave the husband and the kids just to be thorough, just so that, they DNA don't ever get to go nowhere else. Probably have to sterilize them because this is too much evil and deviance.
Yeah, and the crazy part is you, as Diddy, I can't put myself in his shoes, but if, we try here, thinking about like as a man, you are with this woman that you're protecting and providing for to an extent. I don't know about protecting, but for providing for. But you're in a relationship, it's public. You're kissing this woman. You saying that you love this woman, but you just had a freak off for 3 to 4 days with many men skeeting all over her. Like the perversion that has to be in your mind to accept it and to be like, this is morally good. I love this woman. Let me take you here. Let me do things with you. Let me introduce you to my kids. Like it's levels to things. So it could be, I'm not with any of the freak off type of stuff, but it could be a level to some things. People do some stuff behind closed doors. They don't wife up that chick. They don't claim that chick. They do some ruthless stuff, smash her, have the orgies, have the freak offs, but she's not in public eye. You don't say that you love her. You just do what you do and discard of her. But no, he does these filthy things and he not discards of her. He keeps her close. He tucks her in. Like, so the mindset that you have to do stuff like that is crazy. It's demonic.
Speaking of demonic, let me ask you about the opposite. Do you believe that P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs can accept the Holy Spirit?
Good question. I do believe with my faith in Jesus Christ, I believe that if he repented, well, the Holy Spirit is different. Let me rephrase this answer that I'm given. The Holy Spirit is different. There's a lot of people that don't receive the Holy Spirit at all. So that's in the Bible, it's called a gift. You get the gift of the Holy Spirit. So there's a lot of people that you'll make it to heaven, but you'll never experience the Holy Spirit. So with that being said, it's a low probability, even if he fully did a 360 and gave his life to the Lord, it's a high probability that he ain't receiving the Holy Spirit.
Okay, now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If Cassie accepted the Lord, as you say, and she experienced the Holy Spirit. She looked you in your eyes and say, "Hey, David, I experienced the Holy Spirit." And she didn't have any kids, and she came to you at a reasonable age. It was after all the Diddy stuff, but she accepted the Lord, and she's experienced the Holy Spirit.
Wait, are you still putting like the public Diddy stuff?
Let's say she did all the Diddy stuff, and
But it
about
wasn't
the Diddy
public.
stuff, but it's not public.
Okay.
Would you accept her?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Why you ask me like it mattered? You're like, was it public?
It was either going to be
public?
harder or like,
Come on,
what I'm saying?
bro.
There's going to be levels to it.
Come on, bro.
But yeah, not at all. Even if if it was public, no. Even if it's not public, no. The thing is, I wouldn't even accept a woman if, like, as a man, there's levels to promiscuity that a man is willing to accept. There's levels to it.
What level are you going to accept?
People know in the chat that, yeah, I'm a man that has a father and I'm in a relationship with a woman that has kids with another man. People know that. That's public, right? So there's things. 2 children.
2 children. Okay.
Yeah. 1 man. But there's things that within within even my own personal situation that it needs to be right in order for me to accept. Like for me personally, my woman was married before she had a kid. So this shows that, okay, she tried to do things the right way. Then also she came from a nuclear family, had her father in her life, and it was all of these things. Then it was like, okay, no promiscuity. I looked around, asked around, heard nothing. So it's like, okay.
You asked around?
You got to ask around before
you sent a tweet out with her picture on it.
Listen, you got to do all of that before you take a chick seriously. But then also you don't like rush into things. You give it time. So for me, myself, and I personally, before I even took my own personal situation seriously, it was like at least 2 years before I took it seriously. And then another 2 years before we even, moved in and decided to have a kid and stuff like that. So for me, it's like, no, I need to be with an individual so I can be with you and experience you in a lot of different situations so I can know how you act and how your emotions is when you're dealing with this, how you act when you're dealing in that situation, for me to actually go ahead and make that decision and choose a woman that I'm going to protect and provide for. You know what I mean? So a chick that has a battered past like that's been getting slayed, going into baby oil pools and having men run through her like, like it's always a green light. Nah, man, I'm not accepting that at all.
So not even the Lord could make her good enough. Not even accepting the Lord.
Listen, man, I don't even listen. Certain
wild,
chicks
bro.
for me ain't even recreational use only. Even in my thought days when I was out there, I was in them streets doing the do. It was some chicks that just ain't qualify. I'm like, wait, yeah. Nah, I'm not messing with that. I'm not messing with that. Oh, you got OnlyFans? You do this? Yeah. Nah, I don't even if you throwing it at me. Yeah, nah, I don't want it. I'm just not gonna get into it.
Fair enough. Let me hit a few of these super chats real quick. Shout out to Abu. He writes, "Peace of the Saints, flying to SoCal at the end of the week to meet the Saints." Shout out to Chris and Irvin. Very good people. We'll be purchasing the Book of Dark Truths shortly as I need to be more ruthless. Man, I'm trying to tell you, we all need to be more ruthless. Shout out to Dominic. He writes, "Peace of the Saints, tuition." So she used drugs to either 1, escape, or 2, enhance if she was using it as, enhance. If she was using it as an escape, how come she never left the relationship? Like escape the relationship. That's a good point. If she was using it as an enhancer, why is this lawsuit happening? Oh, I agree. And I think wholeheartedly she was using it as an enhancement. Like ecstasy increases your sensitivity to touch and the tactile experience.
You know what? That's a good take because I've never done a drug at all. So I didn't even think about that. It can enhance the experience. Yeah. I'm thinking that it will suppress your maybe conscious awareness, but no, it could enhance the conscious awareness and the pleasure that you take. So yeah, that's even worse.
Shout out to Luis. He writes, "Saint, what do you recommend for a short sleeve button down shirt, shorts, and shoes summer look? Looking to up my fashion game. Can't afford a drip trip yet." Let me ponder on that, but that's kind of a hard question to ask on live because you really want to see something visual. So we'll get back at you on that. We're going to go ahead and click play. If something comes to mind, I'll share it with you.
while, Diddy sat at the defense table listening on here. But as she was describing these events where she said that, there were multiple male escorts that were happening at one time. These freak-offs would happen for 2, 3, the longest 4 days at a time. And control is the word we need to talk about. That is what prosecutors really laid out. And you heard Cassie describe how every action during these freak-offs, which were between her and male escorts, not necessarily between her and her boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs. He sat off to the side, really directing things according to her and masturbating along with what he wanted
Marquett?
to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ain't never smashed. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if homie ain't never hit. He probably did some weird butt stuff, but he probably never even got inside the vagina. Probably did some other weird stuff, some air stuff. See, who knows what the nigga into? It's a high probability that he ain't never hit. He just wanted other people to hit.
Hey, he's a different kind of cat. By the way, to Luis, you definitely would probably get some loafers. You heard me, some slippers rather. That I would recommend to you. Shout out to Edgar. He writes, "Peace of Saints. Did you sell Tesla stock, bro? I sold that already, and I went heavy on United Healthcare, which also had a major dip. I bet heavy on that. Pray for your boy. You did." He writes, "It's up 20%. It get like that, but I made money on it already." He writes, "Do you think it will drop again?" Absolutely. If Elon Musk going to do something else stupid? Guaranteed. Shout out to Teddy. He writes, "Yeah, she got peed on. I used that against her because she was really into it." Hey, bro. Listen, man. I ain't judging, man. I'm here to love, not to judge. Now let me ask you something, Cooley.
Yeah.
Can you look down on the brother for peeing on her? Or it's just like, hey, bro, like, I ain't the one getting peed on. It's like, I'm the one doing the peeing, so I'm good.
You know what? It's similar when I look at morality and degeneracy. And when I just look at, I believe in objective morality. So if a man will take the action to pee on a woman, it will be the same thing if I say, because he's doing it, it's not being done on him. So let's just reverse it. You're doing it, but it's not being done on you. You're doing it, but it's not being done on you. Mm-hmm. You're smashing another man, but it's not being done on you. Are you gay? You are gay.
Cooley,
you
bro,
are
you
getting peed on.
Out of here, bro.
Look, hold up. Listen, listen. You peeing on someone. Far. It's an extreme to point out the immorality of the act. So you peeing on someone is immoral. That's filthy. It's dirty. So yeah, I'm not with it. So it don't matter if you're the one doing it.
Off on nothing this man just said.
Hey man, I believe in objective morality. It don't matter if you're the one doing it or receiving it. It's still immoral.
That was crazy. Bro then brought up broke. He's like, you seen that movie Brokeback Mountain? Well, let me tell you something. That was wild. Let's hit these super chats. We got to hop up out of here. I do want to honor the folks who have supported.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Abu, who came in via super chat. Appreciate you. I also acknowledge none of the above. He writes, also, when will the resolution of these cases be a sensible, strong man firmly stating, shut up, bitch, and we move on? Obviously not, listen, it's going to take someone to be a supervillain. It's going to take someone to get accused, know that they're innocent, and then show up on TV and say, she's still a slur, I don't respect her, and yeah, I really feel like that, and just really fully inhabit the bad guy while being innocent, and then get proven innocent, and then he has to go on a damn near political campaign. You hear me? Like, he really is going to have to push that, and he's going to be a great mascot for it, but that's what it's going to take. Yeah,
like Johnny Depp, he had the perfect opportunity to really be ruthless, but he didn't. Absolutely. He didn't at all.
Shout out to none of the above. He writes, will you guys be inviting special guests in the future, or will it be strictly reactions? I'll be supporting regardless. I think we got a little bit of both. Shout out to Aaron. He writes, Diddy was mentored by white men. Shout out to Chango. Writes, this weirdo watching behavior comes from them consuming corn, for sure. They've trained themselves to be attracted to seeing other people's acts. Ain't that a shame? None of the above came back again. Shout out to Abu. He writes, peace of the saints, my PayPal wasn't addressed. I went through all the PayPals. I think I got it. And I also acknowledge JM. Not I think, I know I got it. Shout out to JM. He writes, low key, it do feel like you floating. What is he talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, maybe he's talking about the Holy Ghost when I said I was floating.
Or maybe he's talking about the pool of the baby oil.
Could be talking about that too.
He writes, all Diddy's girls, Cassie, J-Lo, Young Miami. I thought that was like a female rapper that dressed like a little boy.
That is Young Miami, yeah.
Have to be down with the freak-offs to be with him. Cassie is the only girl of the three to turn against him because she can't make money on her own. Of course, agree. Shout out to CJ87 writes, let's see alligator, check. Sob story, check. 8 months pregnant, check. This will definitely keep me out of jail. No accountability. The dude writes, peace and saints, Mr. Burton. I bought my pre-sale for the big game conference. Does that mean I stay at your residence or my own hotel? Also, shout out to Cooley. Keep doing your thing. I definitely don't have I got some room, but I don't have enough room for everyone who's attending the big game conference to stay at my home on the plantation. So yes, you'll have to grab a hotel close to the location. And if you send me an email, just forward along your payment with your email address. I'll reply to you with the WhatsApp info. Join the WhatsApp group and the exact address so you can book your hotel. I'm caught up there.
You caught up? I got one on my end.
Okay.
NA, it's not a name, but it says, I'm the student from the last video. Please take it down. It doesn't represent me well. I was extremely nervous and I wasn't aware it would be posted. I'll pay if needed. Please, man. Who is this? Know what you are getting yourself into. Okay. I see. I know who this is. So this is a individual that it wasn't a debate. It was during my debate night. He came on my live stream and he was, asking some questions and just wanted to get my worldview on modern day conservatism and, liberalism. And we had a discussion, which, he's a smart, intelligent guy. We agreed on some things, but then we had a disagreement when it came down to, he said that the male standard is a social construct. So I had to just educate.
Male standard.
Anything that males, you know what? I could actually pull it up and we can react to it if you really want to.
Is he talking about just like the behavioral standards for males?
Yeah, he's saying that the male and female intersexual dynamic, the male's standard is a social construct, meaning that in order for us to be civilized, in order for us to get civilized, we had to, how did he explain it again? He said, I'm trying to remember, it was just not too long ago. But anyways, he said that he believed that the male standard is a social construct. And we had a disagreement on that. And I had to educate him a little bit. I said, no, the male is the standard. There's no social construct for the male, meaning that when it comes to men and women, he believed that, men, the standards that men place on women, it had to be socially constructed. I had to advise him that no, the standards that men place on women is not socially constructed. Men, if you extract everything away and you get to nature, the male is the standard. Women would have to hide and they don't have a choice when it comes to reproduction and stuff like that. They don't have a choice with a lot of things. So they have to appeal to the man's standard. They have to, if they want anything done, the woman would have to influence a man in order for her standard that she wants to be enforced. So a woman can have an idea, and even men can have an idea, but it still has to be enforced. So only men enforce rights and laws and stuff like that. So you know what, man? You sent in the money. I would say that it wasn't a bad discussion. It wasn't a bad discussion. I do think that it wouldn't hurt your reputation. I think that you held yourself, good, and you were being receptive to the information. And it wasn't really like a full debate. But I'll have my assistant look into it and, we'll see, man. But I think you'll be okay, brother. I think you'll be fine. We don't have to remove the video. I didn't make you look crazy. I just got another chat that came in from John. It says in $10. Can you guys react to the just in breaking news of the press conference announcing Tory Lanez's innocence? The bodyguard just came out and announced that Kelsey was indeed the one that shot Meg. Is this true? I don't know if this is true or not. Well, maybe we could do another. We'll have to do another live stream because we're wrapping up. We have to do a separate one, but we could definitely react to that one in the future soon. We got Juan Martinez. He gifted 3 No Fugazi memberships on the Hitman tier. I appreciate that one. But yeah, I'm wrapped up and caught up. Anything else on your end, Marquett?
Shout out to the Cerebral Inquirer, writes, 2 intellectual brothers working together, taking on the hard topics, consistently and changing the world. Few of us left. Proud of you all. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Been a good show. And same place, same time. Wednesday.
Same place, same time.
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You got it. Yeah, check it out. So Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like Marquett said. Where are you going to be at, Marquett? You going to be in Timbuktu? Where are you going to be, man? This guy always traveling.
I try not to say it because even when I think that I'm in a small country that's not English speaking, I can slide through, like people still pull up on me. So I like to
try not
to
give the info out. Let's keep it low key.
Yes, sir.
But me and Marquett will talk behind the scenes, and we'll have some good content coming in for you guys. And yes, to the super chat, we do plan on bringing on some guests, so that's going to be coming. This is only episode 2. Right. So yes, we got a lot of stuff in store for you guys. We're going to be reacting to stuff. We're going to be bringing up special guests as well. And, from time to time, me and Marquett will get together and do some collabs in person as well. But other than that, I think this podcast was a good one. And subscribe to the Commission podcast now on YouTube. Subscribe to @TheCommission1 on YouTube. I think we are at 1,000 now, but we need to get that up. We need to get more subscribers on there. But yeah, other than that, we'll see you guys next week on Wednesday at 5 p.m. EST.